Hey guys, Josh here, and sometimes gaming can be an expensive hobby, so I thought why not save some money today and try a few free farming games on Steam. Are any of them fun, or are they packed with predatory microtransactions? And are they even worth trying? Let's find all of that out together. If you like free things, this video is free, so if you enjoy it, if you learn something from it, you can leave a like on it. That is also free and it helps me make more free content for all of you. Let's start, and our first game is called Farmer Toon, which released in February 2025 to mostly positive reviews. I am recognizing a lot of these assets already, but it's a free game. I'm not going to be too harsh on the art. As long as I have a good time, it's all that matters. The gimmick here in Farmer Toon is that not only do you get to run a farm, you also train your animals to fight against other players, which is not something I've experienced before, so I'm curious to give it a try. I launched the game and there's no title screen, no intro, none of that. Right away I get to create my own Farmer Toon. Everything's in French by default, at least for me, but don't worry, I will change that as soon as I actually start playing. You may be familiar with this character model. It is the same one that is used in Ova Magica. I can customize it, pick between the 3 different mouths, then adjust the color of my eyes, skin, hair, pants, and belt. When selecting a color, imagine a color wheel where you can select the hue, but not the brightness or saturation. So let's say you want anything else than the default pale skin. Well, you have green, blue, purple, red, but there's no way to make really other human-looking skin tones. Same thing for the hair. I'm trying to go for dark brown, and it is just as impossible. So here's my little alien farmer. I have the option to enter a referral code to get some free stuff. But unfortunately, I don't know anyone who plays this game. I tried a few random codes, none of them work. And I would love to give you guys my code in case you'd like to play, but I also cannot find that. So we're going in with no bonus, but don't worry, the mayor is running to greet me and he's gonna show me around. He's very excited. After all, it's not every day there's someone new in Farmer Toon. He's rushing from one NPC to another, not waiting for me. Every few seconds, there's a new dialogue with explanations popping up in the middle of the screen. And I'm just trying to move my character, but the keys are configured as if I had a French keyboard, so WASD is not working properly. I open up the settings, change the language to English. There's a button to delete my account, very tempting already, but first I want to take a look at the credits. So the icons are from flaticon.com, and that's all we know. I click on something by accident, and it says help me by voting, and I can vote on what feature I would like to see in the game next, and I opt for visiting other players' farms as that sounds like a lot of fun. I like that they're getting the community involved. I can tell they're most likely a solo developer. There is clearly someone passionate behind this. I wonder why their name is nowhere to be found, but they should give themselves some credit, literally. Anyway, I rebind the keys. It feels a bit messy. I noticed that there's tons of buttons like action, 1, 2, 3, 4, confirm, cancel. I cannot rebind 2 keys that are already being used, but half of the keyboard is being used already, so it is very difficult, but I do manage to fix the movement for now, which is the most important. Meanwhile, the mayor is still running around and introducing me to everyone, even though I clearly can't keep up. But I do catch up just in time for the last one, John the Animal Seller. I know you've seen these specific animals before. They're in Everdream Valley, Sugardew Island, and dozens of other indie farming games. Usually I am tired of seeing them, but this game is free, so it's fine. As you can see here, John has the same character model as me, just with different colors, and he's scaled up a bit. We're not only Farmer Toons, but Farmer Twins or Triplets, as this animal auction house guy is looking just the same. So is this other auction house guy, and Archie and George. There are some girls as well, but basically there are only 2 character models, and also everyone has a stall around my farm where they simply stand there and wait for me to buy things from them. So I buy some carrot seeds, and I like that there is a step-by-step tutorial with quests explaining what to do. For example, right now I'm looking for my tools, and this button moves the camera showing me exactly where they are. A bit clunky and confusing with this other window still on top, but the idea is there. There are 3 tools, a hoe, a watering can, a hammer. I can grab them by going nearby, but I can only carry one at a time. They're not permanently part of my equipment or inventory. So I pick up the hoe, and there is a lot going on here. I try to rebind the keys again, it's not going well. Luckily we have action buttons on the screen. I can simply click on those, and that is how I will be playing the game from now. So when I click on the plow action, my character disappears, and I get in this mode where I can place soil somewhat freely. There's no grid. Then I grab the watering can, walk to a plot and click the water button. There's a little animation here, a bit slow, but it gets the job done. After that, I get the hoe again to plant seeds, and this part is a bit frustrating because you do need the hoe to plant seeds, and you cannot plant seeds if the soil is not watered first, so you always have to use the hoe, then the watering can, then the hoe again. I click on plant, vegetable, carrot seed, I start placing them just like I placed the soil, so I'm in this strange mode to place things, and as I'm doing that, this guy with a tire on his head runs towards me. He's called the vehicle seller, and the first thing he says is, "Hi newbie, do you harvest carrots by hand?" Yes, I'm not harvesting right now, but I think I will be harvesting them by hand. He explains he has a few vehicles for sale in town. He gives me some fertilizer and leaves. The timing of the whole situation is strange. I'm fighting with the dialogue boxes all while trying to plant my carrots, but I do like the idea of vehicles. I want to check out his shop. Before I do that, some of my carrots are ready. They only take a few minutes in real time, so I start harvesting by hand, of course. And now I have a quest asking me to buy a gin machine. I'm confused. I didn't know you could make gin with carrots. I go see my twin George, also known as the building and machine seller, and as I read the description of the gin machine, it's actually just a seed maker. You put crops and it gives you back seeds. I was really intrigued. I had to look it up, and there is in fact a real machine called the cotton gin, short for cotton engine. You put cotton in there and it separates it from the seeds. I'm not confident it would work very well with carrots, but I'm glad I got to learn something new. Actually, it doesn't even make sense in the game because they don't call it cotton gin, but gin machine, meaning engine machine, which really doesn't mean anything. Anyway, moving on, I buy the machine, place it using the hammer, and I don't know why the quest made me do all of that because there has been a gin machine on my farm from the very beginning, so now I'm stuck with two. I harvest the rest of my carrots, sell half of them, make seeds with the other half, and then this trader, this very tall trader, shows up and wants me to check out her stall in town. Everyone's been asking me, so let's go to town. I walk towards the entrance of my farm. If I ever lose sight of where it is, there is this giant girl riding a tiny cow who's always there. I don't know what she's doing, and as I walk through the gate, I teleport to town. I go for a little swim to refresh myself, then I see John, the animal seller, Archie, the auction house guy, George, all of my Toon twins who are on my farm all day every day are also here all day every day. There are a few new faces. Well, their faces are all the same, but their names are different. So there's this magic seller and the vehicle seller who actually won't talk to me until I reach level 9. He came all the way to my farm to tell me to go to his shop. I go to his shop and I can't buy anything. I'm disappointed and I don't like him. It's okay, there are other things to do in town. I explore a little bit and I find these star tokens. Some of them are in places that seem impossible to reach. Others require a bit of platforming. It is more challenging than it looks, but they are worth it, as in true free-to-play fashion. They are a rare currency, mostly used to speed things up. At this exchange office, I can trade stars for coins, coins for stars. There is also this sheep currency used for cosmetics, and I like that every currency can be exchanged in one way or another, so you're never stuck with not being able to get one of the currencies. The shop where I could spend real money is not accessible to me yet, but I can spend my in-game money on this slot machine, which seems almost impossible to win. Right next to it is a weekly lottery, but I would need to come back on Sunday in real time in order to enter, and I want to get this video done before the weekend, so that won't be happening. There's also this hammer minigame where you have to click and get the veggies to stop in the basket. It's a bit tricky, but I like that it is skill-based, so you can make money with that. And it's fun that there are minigames to spice up the gameplay a bit. But now, it's time to go back home, so I talk with Mary Travels, whose name is flipped around if I look at her from the wrong angle. But even more concerning than that, her little rowboat is flipped upside down in the lake. I don't think she's qualified. I'm not sure, but she's my only way home. I take the risk, and the game crashes. The good thing when online games like this one crash is that progress is saved on the servers, so when I boot up the game, I respawn on my farm and nothing has been lost. Now, I would like to try cooking, so I build this work plan to put in my house, and as I'm trying to place it, I notice these huge presents. I rush to open them, and I find a dog and a cat. The cat doesn't seem to be doing anything, just like a real cat, but I can call my dog and ask him to bring me my tools. It sounds like such a useful feature. In practice, I'm not sure it's any faster than going to get the tools myself, but, and I know I'm saying this a lot, the idea is there, I appreciate it. In my house, I find a closet, I put on a few accessories to look cool. I go farm a little bit more, which is so tedious. I do some more quests, I need to make a salad, eat it, and now I'm at level 4, which means I can own animals and participate in battles. I simply need to repair this enclosure first. It looks a bit messy, there's no way to connect fences to each other, but it should be good enough for our first cow. Her name is Milky, she's tiny, she's a baby, but I feed her this golden carrot and now, all of a sudden, she's big, and the mayor shows me how battles work. There are 3 actions, so I can order Milky to do a base attack, a healing skill, or I can surrender. I do a base attack twice and just like that, I win. Now I'm ready to try a ranked battle real PvP. I can choose who I'm going to fight against. Every player has an ELO score, I'm not too sure what that is, as well as a power score. I decide to challenge this guy R19J85, who has a bit more power points than me. The battle starts right away, and that's when I realize my opponent is not necessarily online at the moment. I'm just fighting against a CPU that uses his stats, if that makes sense. For some reason, his cow is quite smaller than mine, and until the very end of the battle, when we start doing critical hits, most of our attacks only deal between 0 to 2 damage points, barely making a dent in our health bars, and this fight is taking forever. By forever, I mean a minute and a half, which might not sound like that long, but when you're clicking the same attack over and over again, there's really no strategy here. Those 53 turns did feel way longer than they were. So that was underwhelming. It does seem like animals will unlock more skills eventually, but I would rather just play something like Ova Magica. Now that I've made enough progress, the Star Shop is available, where prices range from 4 Canadian dollars for 40 stars to $13.69 for 200 stars, which in my opinion seems fairly reasonable. The game is not being pushy at all with these sales, at least so far, but I also don't think it has done enough to make me want to keep playing. Farmer Toon is certainly flawed, it's clunky, it's messy, but it has some good ideas and taught me a lot about cotton gins. It looks like the dev behind it is trying to make it better, they're releasing updates frequently, it's free, not bombarding us with microtransactions. I will not be playing it more, but also don't have anything against it. Spoiler, I cannot say the same for the next game, My Little Farmies. The title is very cute, makes me want to meet all of these little farmies, but the Steam reviews are mixed. That is never a good sign, especially for a free game where people tend to be a bit more lenient with reviews. At first glance, this reminds me of Farmville. If we were Facebook friends in 2009, you probably received a few notifications asking for your help on my farm. I'm sorry for sending those, I know that was such an annoying feature. But there were some fun moments as well, and I'm not opposed to trying a modern, reimagined version of that. Let me take back the modern part. The game launches in windowed mode, the aspect ratio is a bit funny. There is a way to have it full screen 16:9, but I only figured it out after recording. The graphics do make me feel nostalgic, though honestly I don't mind them at all. I don't know what it is with the games in this video, they all get straight to the point, no title screen. I'm greeted by this guy called Amos Zellner, and it looks like my name is Josha0523. Instead of letting me choose a username, I guess they just grabbed my Steam display name, Josh, and added 1 letter and 4 random digits to it, so I'm Josha0523. My first task is to plant rye. I'm told to click on the rye card below, but my eyes just see the word card. Then they see this card that's sparkling in the menu. It has a different color from all of the other icons. It looks like that's where they want me to go. It all happens very quickly, but instinctively I click on that. I'm not even 30 seconds into the game yet, and here I am in the bank, where I can trade 1 gold bar, which is the premium currency, for 250 thalers, which is the main regular currency. One more click and I'm now in the gold shop, where the very first price shown to me is $129.99. It's in Canadian dollars, but still, that's crazy. And it's most likely on purpose, as the recommended option is this one right next to it for $64.99, which suddenly feels a lot cheaper. That would give me 600 gold, 1 dog, a $13 voucher that would then make me feel like I need to spend more money, and also some sort of special Mandarin duck. I click on the arrows to see all of the options. The cheapest thing is 50 gold for $6.49, but the bundles with a bunch of things start at $12.99, And if you thought 129 was crazy, there's actually one more expensive option after that at 324.99. That is the equivalent of 19 copies of Stardew Valley. It's more expensive than a Nintendo Switch Lite. You could get groceries for a month, almost, maybe not. I've not even started playing yet, and my mind is blown by all of these numbers and the countless predatory gimmicks that are in this shop. I closed the shop, the card icon is not sparkling anymore, they knew what they were doing, and I finally find the rye card at the bottom here. I have 5 of them, I simply click, place them where I want them on my farm, and they will start growing. Next, I need a flour mill as well as a pen for rabbits. I buy the cards I need in the shop, all with in-game currency. I get 2 flour mills by accident, but so far so good, and I place everything on my farm. Once in a while, I can click on my rabbits to speed up their production, and same thing for my rye. Some of the rye that was already there when I started the game is ready to be harvested, so I harvest it, and I check on my flour mill, which does this sound effect every single time I click on it. This sound really does stand out because other than that, the game is fairly quiet. I can use my rye to make flour. It tells me that each one takes 10 minutes to make, and I start the production for 2, which should take 20 minutes in total. That doesn't sound very productive, so I upgrade my mill, which will let me produce multiple things at once, but that will take 5 minutes or 1 gold bar. I'm gonna wait, I should have things to keep me busy in the meantime. I do remember seeing a notification about receiving a card booster, and I want to see what that is. So here, there is a double booster week event going on, here a login booster event. There is so much in these menus, I won't lie, it does feel overwhelming, and just like in Farmville, I can invite friends to help me. But that's not what I'm looking for, I'm trying to open my booster thing. After a few minutes, I find it, it's here, but it turns out I only received 1 part out of 5 for that booster, so it's not mine yet, I can't use it unless I want to pay. But in this other menu, I do have 1 completely free booster with 4 cards that I can open right now. I'm excited, I'm thinking, yes, I got 4 free cards, this little house, a goose, a hay bale, a pile of coins. But no, actually it's like the booster from earlier, I only have pieces of these cards, so if I really want them, I would need to open booster after booster hoping to get the other pieces, or simply pay for them with real money. I'm not doing any of that, I plant a few more rye, some potatoes as well, and I notice this girl, one of my little farmies, who wants to buy rye flour from me. I have a look at my flour mill, I feel like I've been playing this game for a while, but there's still 17 minutes left. So I'm assuming the first pack of flour should be ready in 7 minutes. I plant more crops again, now I filled up the entire area of my farm, and there's really nothing much I can do but wait. So I wait and I browse around the dozens of menus this game has to offer. There is some sort of diamond shop, this other shop with ridiculously expensive items that give you popularity points. There's a tower where you can compete with other players to see who can donate more goods, and my guess is that the winner is probably the player who spends the most real money to speed up their production. By the way, this game has rankings of all the players. In first place we have Manda Rosemary with 39 billion points, followed by Live to Game 123W who has 32 billion points. Once you get under the top 5, the numbers drop quickly, and honestly, this makes me feel sad because I know these top players must have spent unbelievable amounts of money to get that many points. All of that for a game that is really not even that fun. I step away from the game while my flour mill is working. When I come back, there's 5 minutes left to the timer. I can see that one of the 2 is ready, but I actually cannot pick it up until the entire production is complete. So you have to decide between producing things one by one and having to come back every 10 minutes to continue the production, or making a big production from the start and not being able to pick anything up until the very end, which is frustrating. Frustrating is most likely the feeling they were going for here. I have a few gold bars I got for free. I use one to complete the production, and I deliver the flour to my little farmy who gives me 65 little coins. For reference, 1 rice seed costs 40 coins, so it's really not a big profit for the amount of time it takes to make that flour. I'm gonna have to plant a lot more, and since I'm running out of space now, I spend 5,000 to expand my farm. As soon as I do that, the game finds a new and innovative way to ruin my mood. Piles of trash appear out of nowhere, so before I can place anything in this new area, I will need to spend even more coins or gold bars to clean things up, And on top of that, it takes 5 minutes to clean the smallest one, longer for the bigger ones. I can only do them one at a time, everything is so infuriating, unless of course I want to give them my credit card. I do my best to give the game a chance, I try playing a little bit more, but every single thing I try doing wants me to pay. There's really not a lot of gameplay in the first place, I'm just standing there wondering what to do. Then I put my cursor over the very first potatoes I planted when I started playing, and I see that they still have 3 hours 48 minutes left before I can harvest them. That is simply way too long, I'm done. Even though I've never been a fan of microtransactions, I think they can have their place in some games. Typically, free-to-play games will get you hooked first with a lot of fun things and rewards, a quick progression, until you reach that point where it gets slower and slower to progress without paying. By that point, you're already committed to the game. I don't really like it, but I get it, and some games you can even keep going without ever worrying about spending money. But strangely, with my Little Farmies, they don't even try to hook you or make you feel like you don't have to pay at first. It must be the most aggressive free-to-play game I've seen. You're being introduced to the shop within seconds, every single thing you do has an option to pay, everything is designed to be so infuriating, and if the wait for my flour and potatoes was so long and I just started playing the game, I can't even imagine what it's like when you get to more advanced resources. Plus, there really is nothing fun in terms of gameplay, it's just paywall after paywall. But I guess it must be working, live to game 123W is the living proof. That was not a good time, so now I want to relax with a fun game. I think I may have found one that is fun, but I'm not too sure about relaxing. Here is Pumpkin Panic. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews. What could go wrong? Well, quite a few things. The description is inviting us to a cozy farm, but there is clearly something more sinister behind that invitation. Before we go find that out, this game can be a bit spooky, but don't worry, I won't put any of its music or sound effects. I will tell you beforehand if something comes up visually. It's not a super scary gore horror game, but we're not always in the mood for that kind of stuff, so for the sake of this video, your surroundings, I promise I will keep everything lighthearted. We're off to an excellent start with our first title screen for the day. Also, there are names in the credits. This game was made by Bilalaika. There's both controller and keyboard support, and there's both normal and nightmare modes. Nightmare mode is locked, so I go for normal. It's my first time playing this game, and I'm this pumpkin guy. I receive seeds from this crow, and I get to farming. I simply walk in the garden and press F to plant the seeds. By the way, I have no arms, not too sure how that works. Then I press spacebar to water, I'm even less sure how that works, and maybe it's better if I don't know. I can refill my water by standing near the well and holding F. As I'm doing that, my crops dry, I can water them again, harvest. It gives me a few coins. I get the seeds back, plant, water, refill. It's a quick cycle and there's always something to do. After a few minutes, there is some tense, suspenseful music that starts playing. The crow tells me to run by pressing shift and that I should find a place to hide. There is going to be a weird hairless creature on the screen. It is the only somewhat unpleasant thing visually. I'm letting you know now, but I started running too early. Stamina takes a while to recover. That creature popped up and killed me. I survived for 2 minutes 48 seconds. I can retry, skip the tutorial, and I get back into it within seconds. I lost all of my progress, but now I am mentally prepared for what's to come. With the coins I get from my first harvest, I go inside my house and interact with the workbench where I can buy upgrades like a faster walking speed, more valuable crops, keys to unlock new fields, a shorter water refilling time, and so on. I opt for the boots to be faster, go back to farming, and as soon as the creepy music starts, I run inside my house. It seems fairly safe in here, but I go back out a bit too early and that creature gets me again. This time, I survived for a whole 2 minutes 58 seconds, which is a 10-second improvement. I retry again from the very beginning, but with more knowledge. This time, I wait a bit more before leaving my house, and I make it long enough to buy a key and unlock a new field where I can plant more valuable crops. By now, I am familiar with the loop of going inside as soon as I hear the music, farm for a few minutes. I'm feeling in control. I pick up a few branches that I recycle for money, I get more upgrades, and as I think I'm becoming a pumpkin panic expert, all of a sudden, it's nighttime. I do have a lantern, but oil is limited and I am scared. I will admit it is getting a bit scary. I run back inside my house, wait for a bit, and I learn that nowhere is completely safe. There's a ghost chasing me out of my house. I am staying outside then, farming with my lantern on, there is this lullaby that plays on and off. I see a few music notes, I'm trying to figure out the mechanic, how it works, what it means. I'm just hoping for the sun to rise again, but then this clown starts running after me, and I die with a record time of 11 minutes 44 seconds. I've been playing this game for less than 20 minutes in total, but I am obsessed already. The controls and main mechanics are super simple, but they work well. The more you play, the more you get familiar with the game, the more dangers get introduced. Getting upgrades and trying to survive feels satisfying. The art and sound effects are great. It is, honestly, a really good game, and it's free. I've not seen any microtransactions or anything like that. It's really just a pure, fun, and completely free experience. I don't want to show too much of it in this video as it would spoil the different surprises, but if you are feeling brave, I strongly recommend playing Pumpkin Panic. So these are 3 free farming games I played on Steam, and you can play them too. Farmer Toon had good ideas with a messy execution. Then we went for a ride in microtransactions hell with My Little Farmies, and we ended things with Pumpkin Panic, a fun but scary experience that actually meets the real definition of free. Let me know what you think. Have you played any of these games? How long did you survive in Pumpkin Panic? Do you know any free games you would recommend? Share them in the comments, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all in the next video.